This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Hot Georgia Rein by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 9, Ivy. When I woke up in Henry's arms, it was the best feeling in the world, until I realized where we were and that the sun was just starting to come up on the horizon. I remembered that Henry was always a heavy sleeper, so I knew it would be easy for me to climb out of his bed undetected. The skibby clothes I arrived in were still wet, and I reluctantly put them on. Driving naked through Blackburn, even at this hour, is not a smart thing to do. Though we only have a few cops, they'll arrest you for indecent exposure even if no one else is a witness. I think I was 18 and almost done with high school when Mrs. Drummonds complained how Officer Lloyd arrested her on false pretenses. She was wearing a strapless dress, so to a passerby, it would look as if she was naked until one was up close. I don't even know if she ever did get that charge off her record, but I was not willing to test the local authorities this morning after last night's escapades. "Well, looky what the cat dragged in," Mama announces to Papa as I try to sneak inside the house. I tiptoe back into the foyer, not wanting my father to see how I look. "What?" Papa questions, not looking up from his morning paper. "Your daughter," Mama announces. I freeze in place, hoping that Papa won't bother to look up so I can get away. "What?" Papa repeats. I hold my breath, confident that he hasn't seen me yet. "Your daughter," Mama says again, louder this time. I slowly look over my shoulder, fearful of what my parents will say. "Ivy, honey," Papa calls. "What are you doing up so early?" "You know," I giggle nervously. "I'm used to being up early. I have a son." "Why do you look all wet?" Papa inquires. I turn the rest of the way to face them. I went for an early morning walk," I lie. "Sounded like an early morning drive," Mama quips. "With my truck." "Yeah, that too," I chuckled timidly. "Why are you wet if you went for a drive?" Papa pries. "It didn't rain on you, did it?" I look to Mama, who has a smug, pleased look on her face. "Looks like someone got caught coming in late," Grady teases, walking in from behind me. "Who'd you fuck?" "What?" Papa shouts, not liking profanity used around Mama or any ladies. "Oh, that's right," Grady laughs, taking orange juice from the fridge. "Let me guess. Could you have opened your legs that easily for Henry?" "Watch your mouth, boy," Papa directs. "I will wash it out with soap." "Why me?" Grady whines. "She's the one who's been out all hours of the night." "She doesn't live under this roof," Papa defends. "She's visiting." "But—" Grady starts to complain, but Papa cuts him off with a glare. "Did you tell him yet?" Grady pushes, looking at me in an effort to avoid digging his hole deeper. I'm not sure what happened between Grady and me. We used to get along the majority of the time. It hasn't been until the last year or so that he's been meaner. I get it. He doesn't like the fact that he still lives at home. But that's on him. He's old enough to get a full-time job, but he's too lazy to do it. We're only 3 years apart, but I don't understand how we can be so different when we've been blessed with the same parents. "I just saw him yesterday, Grady," I returned coldly. "Stop meddling," Mama commands, looking at Grady. "But—" "No buts," Mama presses. "Your sister will talk to Henry when the time is right." "You always told us secrets were bad," Grady reminds harshly. "Mean secrets are bad," Mama corrects. "How is this one not mean?" Grady challenges. "Grady," Mama warns. "Fine," Grady huffs. "Just tell him before you leave again for another few years. The man has the right to know since you're dicking around with his heart and cock." "Grady Everett Abney," Mama scolds. "If you want to continue to live in this house, you will obey by our rules." Grady eyes me as he grabs a handful of bacon and a stack of pancakes Mama already set off to the side while she continues cooking. He doesn't comment as he stares me down, stuffing a large amount of pancake into his mouth before disappearing out of the back kitchen door. "You all right, Sweet Pea?" Papa asks sweetly. "I will be," I answer with a forced smile. "Did you really sleep with him?" Mama asks. "Sue Ellen, I don't want to know that shit," Papa whines. "Well, how do you think our sweet grandbaby was made?" Mama presses playfully. "Don't, Sue Ellen," Papa warns. "I don't want to hear it or think about it. My sweet little Ivy conceived just like the Christians believe their holy what's-her-name." "Mary," Mama answers, interrupting him. "You and I know that." "Woman!" Papa shouts playfully. My eyes dart back and forth between them, becoming grossed out by my parents' odd sense of flirting, which can lead to something else that I don't want to be in the house to witness. "I'll leave you two alone," I announce, backing out of the room and heading for the stairs. "Where do you think you're going?" Mama asks, slyly. "Clearly, you and Papa are having a moment," I declare, continuing to get away from them. "Be back down with fresh clothes in 5 minutes," Mama instructs. "Will do," I reply, making my way up the steps. But if I hear weird noises, I'm staying up here. After breakfast, I take a long walk into town, hoping to clear my head about Henry, what happened last night, and what I want. My dreams have changed since having my son, and I'm concerned that I won't ever achieve these new dreams, regardless of my previous success. A few trucks pass by, and I'm grateful that none of them stop to talk to me. My legs keep moving toward town, and my gut flips a little when I hear a vehicle approach and slow down. "Hey, Firefly," Henry's voice calls out from inside the truck that's now beside me. My nerves settle quickly, realizing it's him instead of a creeper. He continues to slowly steer alongside me as my feet keep me going forward. "Hey," I reply, biting back a dorky smile. "Where are you headed?" he inquires. "Just a walk," I inform. "Nowhere in particular." "Want company?" he asks, stopping the truck when I do. It takes me a second to turn and face him. Leaning into his door, I place my arm on the edge of the window and place my chin on them. We need to talk about last night," I state. "What's to talk about?" he shrugs. "Henry," I command, not appreciating him diminishing the importance of last night's events. "Ivy?" It shouldn't have happened," I announced. "Why not?" he asks, turning himself more to face me. "Because," I sigh, standing back up. "You're a widower." "I ain't married," he states matter-of-factly. "You just buried your wife," I remind. "So?" he presses. "So it's not right, at least not right now," I return, trying to stay level-headed. "When is anything ever right, Firefly?" he asks. "The town will talk," I inform. "No one knows but you and me," Henry claims. I wince. "So, your mama knows," Henry adds. "And Papa," I reveal. Henry checks his rear-view mirror and then looks back over his shoulder for several long seconds. "Doesn't seem like he minds," Henry states playfully. "Just because Papa ain't running after you with his shotgun doesn't mean shit," I declare, biting back a grin. "He still probably thinks you're a virgin, too," Henry snickers. Doesn't believe it when the words Ivy and sex come up in conversation. "Henry!" I scold, sending my hand inside his truck to hit him. Henry snatches me by the wrist. "Let me go, Henry Lee," I command, fighting back a smirk. "God, do I love it when you say my name like that," he states. "I've missed that. It's sexy as hell." "I will sick Papa on you," I laugh. "Now, let go of me." "Not until you get in and we go somewhere," Henry instructs. "Where?" I giggle, loving how it feels just like old times with him already. He shrugs his shoulders. "You're the one who said nowhere in particular." I study him, catching the desire burning in his eyes. "As long as we stay in public, I'll go," I reply. Henry regards me. "Fine," he says, kissing my knuckles before letting me go. Henry reaches over the rest of the way and opens the door from the inside. "Well, aren't you a gentleman?" I tease. "I've learned a thing or two," he replies with a devious grin. Henry waits until I'm buckled in to start driving again. We ride in silence, glancing back and forth at each other, goofy, giddy smiles popping on our faces each time. I start to think back over everything since seeing him, and that's when I blurt out, "Grady knows, too." "Knows what?" he checks. "Knows what we did last night," I inform. "Probably Nana and Pop since they were in the living room reading." "So?" Henry replies, seeming unfazed by the news. "So, you know how Grady can be with shit," I remind. "Yeah, I know," Henry replies, keeping his eye on the road. "It's not just with you, you know." "How do you know?" I check. "Seen it a few times now and then when we were in school in the past couple of years," Henry explains. I nod, not liking the uneasy feeling that is settling in the pit of my stomach. My brother is known to reveal different things to people at the most inopportune times in situations to make someone stand out and generally look the fool. He's been like that for a long while. I'm not sure when it started exactly. I think it's his way to feel important since he still hasn't found his way in life. I know that I need to tread lightly with him because Grady could reveal my secrets to Henry before I'm ready and before Henry is ready to hear them. Henry pulls into town, parking just out front of one of the town's oldest microbreweries. I hesitate getting out of the truck, checking my hair in the mirror on the back of the visor, and then lower my sunglasses to prevent being as easily recognized. "Firefly," Henry says with a grin as he opens my door. I jump out, landing oddly in my cowboy boots. Luckily, Henry's body catches me as his arms secure me in place. "Thanks," I return, feeling less than graceful compared to when I'm sporting 4-inch heels in New York. "Welcome," he replies. I push away from him, needing less physical contact even though my nose takes in an extra pull of his scent. If this continues any longer, we just might hump the shit out of each other right here for anyone to see. When I'm out of the way, Henry closes the door and slowly gets to the curb. I follow closely, unsure of where he wants to go. My head bounces around, hoping no one in particular notices that we're together. This town thrives on drama. The rumors and gossip spread like butter on fresh, hot cornbread fresh out of the oven. He opens the door to the microbrewery, and I offer a puzzled look. Isn't it a bit early for a drink? I inspect. I gotta pick up something from Tyrell, Henry states. Plus, I know he'll want to witness it for himself that you're back in town. That, and he hasn't seen you for a long time. I don't want anyone to know I'm back in town, I claim uneasily, looking down at my boots. It's a little late for that, Firefly, Henry chuckles. What do you need to pick up? I pry, walking past him. I look back when he doesn't answer me. Henry offers a smile, but nothing else. Woo-wee! Well, spank me with a horsewhip and call me Seabiscuit, Tyrell explains with an overly exaggerated southern accent as he comes out from behind the bar. Miss Abby Lynn Abney is actually back in tiny little old Blackburn, Georgia. Tyrell never really had an accent, and I can't tell if he's developed one after all these years or is fucking with me, just like we used to do with townies when we were young. I pray silently for the latter. I smile. Hey, Tyrell, I greet with an uncomfortable wave. Get your sweet ass over here and give me a hug, woman, he directs, else I'll have Henry take you over his knee and give you a good few spankings. I shuffle toward him, nervous from the threat. She might like that, Henry chuckles. I'm sure she would, Tyrell goads. If these boys only knew what I've come to like in bed, they'd be locking the door and begging for a three-way. Well, Tyrell would be up for it, but I'm not so sure Henry would. I bite back a smirk, trying not to give anything away. There she is, Tyrell says, wrapping his big arms around me. He lifts me off the ground, twirling me in the air. You got bigger, I state, noticing his muscles. Most men here get bigger in the gut, Tyrell claims once he puts me down. Men like Henry and me get bigger in the muscles. Tyrell lifts one of his arms to show me his gun while he keeps the other curled around my waist. I don't know, I muse. I think Tyrell's got more than you, Henry. Oh, how I've missed your sweet sass, Tyrell announces, kissing my cheek. He picks me up and twirls me around again. Look out, Blackburn, Miss Ivy Lynn Abney is back. We're about the same, Henry defends. When Tyrell puts me back on my feet, I jab. Never said bigger was always better. That's not what the ladies say when I drop trowel, Tyrell laughs. I snicker, though Henry seems unamused. What you need? Tyrell asks while hovering close to me. Ever since we were known to be an item, Tyrell always teased Henry, claiming that he was going to steal me away. It was all in good fun, but I knew how it bothered Henry sometimes. Clearly, it still does. What most don't understand is that another man didn't steal me away. A whole city did. Just the stuff we talked about, Henry says vaguely. Oh, right, Tyrell replies. Follow me into the office. Henry nods to him and then looks at me. I'll be just a minute and then we can go. So, you two are an item again? Tyrell probes. Girl, you move fast. She's just back to pay respects, Henry defends. Mm-hmm, Tyrell replies with a smile and a wink meant for me. I wouldn't doubt it if y'all tapped each other's asses last night. I bite back a smile. Wouldn't tell you even if we did, Henry states calmly. I know, Tyrell chuckles. But I'm sure it's true. You two could never keep your hands off each other for long, anytime she did come back. People change, I remark. People, yes, Tyrell says. Henry and Ivy don't. I look away, not wanting to confirm or deny anything. There's truth to his words, which is part of the reason why I left and stayed away. If I had stayed or came back on occasion, Henry and I would have continued to cheat while he was married to Juliana. If I stayed long enough, he might not have ever married her, but I still needed New York. The boys disappear in the back, leaving me alone in the bar. I casually stroll around the large room, checking out the decor and the different beers they have on tap. I'm impressed with how small towns, or should I say some businesses in small towns, are influencing the big cities with their homey, country style and flair. Ready? Henry suddenly says, low in my ear. I jump slightly from being caught off guard. What? Tyrell snaps. You need to at least have a beer and a shot. I check my phone and reply, It's 10 in the morning. So, Tyrell snorts, it's happy hour somewhere. Later, Henry says. I just tapped a new keg last night, Tyrell states. A new keg or a new chick, I goad. Tyrell smiles. Just like old times with you, Ivy. Seems like New York hasn't changed you much at all. Nope, Henry agrees. How about a rain check? I inquired with a smile, biting back a defense about how much I've changed. Only if I get to do a shot off your hot-ass body, girl, Tyrell returned slyly. Sure, I agree. Damn, the years just keep making you hotter. I bet you have to fight off all the boys up there in the big city, Tyrell states. The men, too, I tease. Henry scowls and Tyrell laughs. Girl, I bet the women either envy you or want to fuck you too, Tyrell resumes. Right, I chuckle nervously. So, is that a yes to them wanting to fuck you? Tyrell pries, looking back and forth between Henry and me. 'Cause that would be hot. Not tellin', I reply with a devious smile. Henry's expression is that of curiosity, but also a hint of nervousness at the same time. Great to see you, Tyrell, I shout, walking toward the door. If you're ever up in New York, I'll take you out and you can find out for yourself. I will. You can count on it. It's great seeing that ass shake as you walk away, Tyrell teases. I give it a little shimmy when I push the door open, not bothering to look back over my shoulder at him or Henry. The two of them haven't changed. Tyrell is still lusting after me, though playfully, while Henry is fuming and possessive. What the hell was that? Henry asks sharply when he finds me walking past this truck. What? I feign, holding back a snicker. A body shot and you wiggling your ass, he presses with a serious tone. I continue to walk, not bothering to give in to Henry's jealousy. First of all, I preface, looking both ways before striding across the street toward the bank, wanting to pop in and say hi to Papa. I agreed, but I never said when it would happen. And secondly, what about me shaking my ass? You'll give him the wrong idea, Henry claims. And what, pray tell, kind of idea is that? I inquire, trying not to laugh. That you're available, Henry states. Who says that I am or not? I quip, looking back at him as I continue to walk backward. Just because we had sex last night doesn't mean I'm yours, Henry Lee. Henry stops in the street a few feet from the curb. His mouth falls open and I can see that I've wounded him a little. Besides, I continue, how do you know that ass shake was for him? I practically skipped the last few feet to the bank's front door. Who do you shake it for? Henry checks, closing in on me. I open the door, not waiting for him or any other man to do it for me. I prop it open with my ass, waiting for him to enter. Right as Henry gets close enough, I say, myself. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link also in the description. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.